Good morning, students. In the previous session, we completed the semiconductor device. In this session, we are going to discuss another chapter from second year physics, that is dual nature of radiation and matter. We know radiation has a dual nature. One is wave nature and second one is particle nature. Okay, radiation has a dual nature, one is wave nature, another one is particle nature. The phenomenon belongs to wave nature, that is wave nature of the light. Polarization, interference and diffraction. So, these are the phenomena of light belongs to wave nature and dual nature. So, the phenomena belongs to particle nature. They are electron emission and photoelectric effect. Okay. So, radiation has dual nature, one is wave nature, another one is particle nature. The examples are the phenomena belongs to wave nature, polarization, interference and diffraction, and second one particle nature. The phenomena belongs to particle nature, that is electron emission and photoelectric effect. So, in this chapter we are going to discuss electron emission and after photoelectric effect. The first one is electron emission. The name indicates the emission of electron from the metal surface. We know in a conductor the free electrons are responsible for the conductivity, or in a metal plate here also the free electrons are responsible for the conductivity of the electricity. If the electron wants to escape from the metal plate, it requires some energy. Okay. Once the electron escapes from the metal plate acquires the positive charge. Okay. Once the electron escapes from the metal plate or a conductor, the metal plate acquires positive charge. Okay now. So, once the metal plate acquires positive charge, again the metal plate pulls the electron towards its original position. So, it is difficulty to escape the electron from the metal plate. Here, in order to escape the electron from the metal plate, it requires some energy. So, the energy required for an electron to escape from the metal plate is called work function. Okay, and basically it is denoted by W naught. What is meant by the work function? The minimum amount of energy required for an electron to escape from the metal plate is called work function. It is denoted by W naught. Basically, the work function depends on nature of material and its surfaces. Okay, and the units of work function is electron volt. 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joules. Okay na? The units of work function is electron volt. 1 electron volt equal to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 joules. It depends on nature of material. Its value different for different materials. Among all the materials, cesium has lowest value, that is 2.16 electron volt, and platinum is highest value of work function, that is 5.67 electron volt. Okay na? Work function depends on nature of material. Among all the materials, cesium has lowest value and platinum has highest value. Okay na? And next one is electron emission. What is meant by the electron emission? The name indicates the emission of electron from the metal surface. We know already the amount of energy required for an electron to eject from the metal surface is called work function. Here some amount of energy needed to escape from the metal surface. So we have three kind of electrons emissions. One is therm ionic emission, and second one is field emission, and third one photoelectric emission. Okay, so we are having three kind of emissions. One is therm ionic emission, another one is field emission, and last one is photoelectric emission. Then what is meant by the therm ionic emission? So we are supplying some heat, that is about 2500 degrees centigrade temperature required to exit the electron from the metal surface, then it is called therm ionic emission. Okay na? If you supply or if you heating the metal up to 2500 degrees centigrade, then the electron acquired some energy and escapes from the metal surface. And in the case of field emission, so in the case of field emission, we apply the strong electric field, that is 10 power 8 volt per meter electric field required to eject an electron from the metal surface. Okay na? So in order to escape the electron, it requires strong electric field, that is about 10 power 8 volt per meter. And photoelectric emission, the name indicates the emission of electron from the metal plate when it is illuminated by a light having the certain wavelength or frequency. Okay na? So when the metal plate illuminated by a light having some frequency or wavelength, when the metal plate exposed by the light, for example zinc and cadmium are some of the materials responds ultraviolet light with short wavelength. Okay na? So these are exhibits the photoelectric emission or photoelectric effect when the light of certain wavelength, that is short wavelength, that is ultraviolet radiations incident on a metal surface, some of the electrons escape from the metal surface. Okay na? So these materials responds only ultraviolet radiations having the short wavelength. And some of the alkali metals, that is potassium and cesium and rubidium, so these metals are response even though visible light. Okay na? So alkali metals are exhibits the photoelectric effect even though visible light, whereas zinc and cadmium, some of the materials responds only for the ultraviolet radiations. Okay na? So electron emissions are three types. One is therm ionic emission, field emission, photoelectric emission. The most important phenomenon we are going to discuss, that is photoelectric emission. What is meant by the photoelectric emission? When the metal plate illuminated by a light having the certain wavelength or frequency, the electron is emitted from the metal plate. This phenomenon is called photoelectric emission. So here also the photoelectric emission depends on nature of materials. Okay na? For example, some of the materials, if you take zinc and cadmium, these responds only ultraviolet radiations having the short wavelength. Okay na? And some of the alkali metals, that is potassium, rubidium, cesium, even these are response visible light also. So this is about electron emission. Now we are going to discuss the phenomenon of photoelectric effect experimentally. The apparatus consists of a evacuated glass tube that is made up of glass or quartz, provided with a photosensitive cathode plate and a metallic anode plate, and a quartz window sealed to the glass tube provided with the quartz filters. These quartz filters used to obtain desired frequencies of light. Okay na? Next, and the two terminals of that is cathode and anode connected to the battery through a voltage divider. And also we have a reverse switch makes the anode is positive or negative with respect to the cathode, and a voltmeter which is used to observe the voltage in the circuit. And also we are having a microammeter that is used to calculate the photoelectric current flowing in the circuit. Okay. Once the key is opened, there is a current flowing from cathode to anode. Okay na? So once a light of desired frequency or wavelength incident on a metal plate, electrons are emitted. Okay na? Even though applied voltage is zero, even the applied voltage is zero, there is some electrons flows from cathode plate to anode plate. Most of electrons having lesser energy comes to rest. Some of the electrons having the higher energy reaches to the anode, thereby an electricity flows in the glass tube. Okay na? So these electrons coming from the cathode, even the applied voltage is zero, is called space charges. Space charges. So totally the tube is filled with space charges, that is negative charges, which repels the further electrons coming from the cathode. Okay na? Which repels the electrons coming from the cathode, thereby gradually the photoelectric effect becomes zero. Okay na? So once the photoelectric effect can be increased by making the anode is positive with respect to the cathode. So the positive plate attracts the electron coming from the cathode, thereby the photoelectric current takes place, or the value of photoelectric current increasing in the circuit. Once the applied voltage gradually increases, thereby the photoelectric current once the applied accelerating voltage increases, thereby the electrons emitted from the cathode increases and continuous flow of current takes place in the vacuum tube. Okay na? So the voltage increases, thereby photoelectric current increases proportionally and reaches to maximum value, that is saturation current. What is meant by the saturation current? So the photoelectric current proportionally increases with increasing the applied voltage, that is accelerating voltage. Once it reaches to the maximum value, even though voltage is applied, there is no change in the current, that is called saturation current. Okay na? So there is no change in the current because it reaches to the maximum value. Even the applied voltage increases, there is no change in the current. So this is called saturation current. And with the help of reverse switch, if the anode is negative polarity with respect to the cathode, the anode plate repels the electrons coming from the cathode, thereby the photoelectric current gradually decreases and becomes zero at a particular reverse voltage, that is called stopping voltage or stopping potential. Okay na? When the reverse switch is used by making the anode plate is negative with respect to cathode, basically electrons has a negative charge. The electrons repelled by the anode plate by making the anode is negative with the help of reverse switch. Okay na? So when applying the reverse voltage, gradually the photoelectric current decreases because the negative plate, that is anode plate, repels the electrons coming to it. Thereby photoelectric current decreases becomes zero. Okay na? The photoelectric current becomes zero at a particular reverse voltage. So the reverse voltage applied at which the photoelectric current becomes zero is called stopping potential. Okay na? What is meant by the stopping potential? The voltage at which the photoelectric current becomes zero, that is the photoelectric effect ceases, is called stopping potential. Okay na? So when the stopping potential is applied, the kinetic energy of the electron gradually decreases. Okay na? So in this case, work done to stop the electron, that is V maximum, kinetic energy of the electron, we know W is equal to E into Vs. Work done to stop the electron, E into Vs is equal to half m V maximum square, where Vs is the stopping potential. Under equilibrium, the energy required to stop an electron is E into Vs is equal to half m V maximum square, where half m V maximum square is the maximum kinetic energy of the electron. Since the electron required kinetic energy to reach the anode plate. Okay na? So in order to stop the electron, here also we apply maximum voltage, that is maximum energy to oppose the kinetic energy of the electron. So at a equilibrium, E into Vs is equal to half V maximum square. Okay na? So this is the experimental study of the photoelectric effect. Once again, simply the apparatus consists of a evacuated glass tube in which is having the photosensitive plate and a metallic anode plate. It consists of a glass tube sealed on the glass window, sealed on the glass tube, provided with a quartz filters. The quartz filters allows the light to obtain the desired frequency of the light. Once the light incident on the cathode plate, photoelectric effect takes place, that is electron emitted from the cathode plate and reaches to the anode plate. The polarity of the anode plate can be maintained with the help of reverse switch with respect to the cathode, and the voltage in the circuit can be obtained with the help of voltmeter, and the photoelectric current in the circuit can be measured with the help of microammeter. Okay now, once the photoelectric effect takes place, the electrons liberated from the cathode plate and reaches to the anode place, thereby photoelectric effect increases. If the applied voltage increases, the photoelectric current also increases proportional to the voltage and reaches to the maximum value, that is saturation value. Beyond this, even the applied voltage increases, there is no change in the current. Similarly, by making the anode plate is negative with the help of reverse switch with respect to the cathode, the emitted electron repelled by the anode plate, thereby photoelectric current decreases and finally stopped at a particular reverse voltage, that is stopping voltage. What is meant by the stopping voltage? The voltage at which the photoelectric effect stops. Okay now, and the maximum kinetic energy of the electron is half m V maximum square. The energy required to stop the maximum kinetic energy electron is EVs. So under equilibrium, to stop the photoelectric effect, the condition should be EVs is equal to half V maximum whole square. So this is about the experimental study of photoelectric effect. And next one is effect of intensity of incident light on the photocurrent and stopping potential. How the intensity affects the photoelectric current? If you draw a graph between photoelectric current and intensity of incident light, taking intensity on x-axis, photocurrent on y-axis. Intensity of light, that is I, photocurrent I. Okay. When a light of particular frequency, okay na? If you want to vary the intensity of the light or photoelectric current with the intensity of light, keeping the frequency of incident light and nature of radiant surface constant, that is the metal we are selected is constant, okay na, and accelerating potential is constant. Keeping the accelerator potential, frequency of incident radiation and nature of radiant surface is constant. When the light of particular frequency incident on a metal surface, when the light of particular frequency incident on a metal surface, we observed practically the photoelectric current is directly proportional to intensity of incident radiation. That is, the intensity of incident radiation increases, thereby the photoelectric current is also increases proportionally. Okay na? Then the graph is straight line from the origin. So the photoelectric current I is directly proportional to intensity of incident radiation, keeping the frequency and applied potential and nature of radiating surface remains constant. Next one is how the intensity of incident radiation and photoelectric effect depends on stopping potential. Here, if we draw a graph between anode potential taken on x-axis and photocurrent on y-axis, let V naught be the stopping potential that is reverse voltage, okay na? Let a wave having particular intensity, say it is I naught incident on a metal plate, keeping the frequency of incident radiation is constant, okay na? And the nature of radiating surface remains constant. If we incident a wave having the particular intensity, if the applied voltage, that is accelerating potential, increases, the photoelectric current increases and reaches to the saturation, that is constant. Even the applied voltage increases, there is no change in the photoelectric current. Okay na? Similarly, if the anode voltage, that is negative with respect to the cathode, if the applied voltage decreases, thereby the photoelectric current is also decreases, reaches to 0. Okay na? The point where the photoelectric current reaches is called stopping potential. Okay na? Similarly, if another wave having the intensity I2 incident on a metal surface, keeping the frequency and nature of radiant surface constant, here also if the applied voltage, that is accelerating voltage, increases proportionally, photoelectric current is also increases and reaches to the maximum, that is saturation. In the second case, if the applied voltage decreases, Thereby the photoelectric current decreases and becomes zero at a particular reverse voltage. Okay na? So in the second case, the value of reverse voltage is similar to the value of reverse voltage in the first case. Okay na? And similarly, if the intensity of incident radiation again increases, thereby photoelectric current increases and reaches to the saturation. Here also the photoelectric current decreases with the reverse voltage and reaches to the particular point, that is the photoelectric current is zero. From the graph we can conclude that the stopping potential is independent on intensity of the incident light. The stopping potential, okay na, is independent on intensity of incident light. Okay na? So these are the graphical representation of intensity of light, electric current, and intensity of light versus stopping potential. We know from the last graph the stopping potential is independent on intensity. Stopping potential is independent on intensity. Then what are the dependent factors of stopping potential? We can explain the behavior or dependent factors of stopping potential with the help of the graph between photoelectric current and anode potential by changing the frequency of incident radiation. Okay na? So the graph is drawn between anode potential, that is applied potential, and photoelectric current, keeping the intensity of incident radiation and the nature of the radiant surface. So when the light is incident on a radiating surface, keeping the intensity of incident ray is constant. Okay na? If the applied voltage increases gradually, the photoelectric current also increases and reaches to the maximum value, that is saturation. Okay na? Later, in the first case, the frequency of incident radiation is nu 1. The frequency of incident radiation is nu 1. Okay na? Again, in the first case, if the reverse voltage is applied gradually, the photoelectric current is also decreases and becomes zero. That is V1 is corresponding to nu 1, where V1 is the stopping potential, okay na, with respect to the incident radiation having the frequency nu 1. Similarly, now the incident radiation frequency changes from nu 1 to nu 2. Here also, with increasing the positive potential, the photoelectric current increases and reaches to the saturation. Okay na? By keeping the intensity of incident radiation, if the reverse voltage is applied and its value increases in negative direction. Similarly, when you conduct the practical in third time, if the frequency changes from V2 to V3, the value of stopping potential also changes from V2 to V3. So we can conclude that the frequency of incident radiation is directly proportional to stopping potential or vice versa. Okay na? So the frequency of incident radiation is directly proportional to stopping potential. So nu is directly proportional to Vs or vice versa. Vs is directly proportional to nu. So finally, the stopping potential depends on frequency of incident radiation and independent on intensity of incident radiation. Okay na? And finally, the variation of stopping potential with frequency we are already discussed. The stopping potential is directly proportional to frequency of incident radiation. Okay na? Every metal has a desired frequency below which no photoelectric effect takes place. That is called threshold frequency. ఓకేనా? Threshold frequency. What is meant by the threshold frequency? The frequency below which no photoelectric effect takes place is called threshold frequency. Okay na? So every metal has a desired frequency, beyond that it exhibits the photoelectric effect, below which no photoelectric effect takes place. That frequency is called threshold frequency. When we draw a graph between frequency of incident radiation and stopping potential, by changing the different radiating surfaces, the graph becomes straight line. Okay na? So V naught is the threshold frequency below which no photoelectric effect takes place. Above the threshold frequency, the photoelectric effect takes place. Then stopping potential is directly proportional to frequency of incident radiation. So in this session we discuss about photoelectric effect and experimental determination of the photoelectric effect and variation of the photoelectric current with the intensity and stopping potential and variation of the dependent factors of the stopping potential.